topic, because whatever the next topics are there, like fits, which is the important one. So that fit is basically based on the allowance. Okay, obviously there is a role of tolerance, but allowance is the most important one. Okay, so understand it clearly. Now at this time of tolerance only, that time I have asked you one of the question, one important question, that what is the basic difference between tolerance and allowance? What is the basic difference between tolerance and allowance, right? And that time one statement I have told you, okay, which is a very very important, right, with respect to the basic difference between tolerance and allowance. What I have asked you, that define in one line, okay, and that the statement was allowance is an intentional difference. Just second line is there. Allowance is the intentional difference between the basic dimension. Allowance is the intentional difference, and tolerance is the variation in the size or a dimension because of incapability of maybe worker, machine, or material, or any process. Okay, so tolerance is automatically generated because of the problems with the man, material, machine. Allowance will be intentionally given. Okay, so keep it in mind, this word allowance is intentional to get the proper fit. Okay, so now I will not go in a deep of this clearance and interference, because it is a part of your metrology. You will study there, but see, whenever you will study this, study it properly, because at least there is going to be one question in a gate, and in another exams at least there are going to be 2 to 3 questions from this limit fit allowance category. Okay, so learn there properly, right? So the basic definition is, it is the intentional difference between basic dimension of mating parts, or it is a minimum clearance and maximum interference. How it is, I will show you here. Just look at the figure. Okay, this is actually hole and shaft basis system. Consider this as a hole, and this shaft is this one. The smaller one is the shaft. Okay, and this red colored region. Okay, these are actually limits, what we have seen in a tolerance. Okay, now just come to the one part, that is the shaft, the smaller one. Okay, which is given at the lower side. Now if you see about the shaft, I'll zoom it. Okay, now if you see about this shaft, okay, which is a smaller one part, it is mentioned here also. So there is this red colored region, red colored crisscross lines. Okay, so this lower line represents lower limit, upper line represents upper limit. Okay, so this region is nothing but what we studied, tolerance. Okay, this red colored crisscross region of shaft is nothing but it is the tolerance. Out of that, upper line is representing upper limit, lower line is representing lower limit. Similarly for hole, okay, hole is the larger one, this larger one opening. Okay, similarly for hole, this red colored crisscross region is representing tolerance, representing tolerance. Okay, one is upper limit, one is lower limit. Okay, one is upper limit and another is a lower limit. Okay, and the difference between upper limit and lower limit, it means this region, this red color region is nothing but the tolerance. So this lower one is the tolerance of shaft, this upper one is the tolerance of hole. Okay, now what is happening now, this is actually the part of hole and shaft basis system. Okay, this is a very, is going to be very very wide topic. Hole and shaft basis system, then clearance feet, interference feet. Okay, so this is another one, just I'll show it to you. Allowance means what? Now here what is happening, the lower limit of hole, that means this lower line of hole, lower limit of hole is greater than upper limit of shaft. Listen carefully the statement. Lower limit of hole, in this case lower limit of hole is more than upper limit of shaft. It means hole size is larger than shaft size. Hole size is larger than shaft size. So what is going to happen, the gap is going to be there. That gap is nothing but the clearance. Actually it is called as the clearance fit. Okay, so when the lower limit of hole is going to be more than the upper limit of shaft, it is going to be a clearance limit. Accordingly, the adjustment, if you check the adjustment, it is going to be interference fit and transition fit, right? Now, see here, this allowance had shown with these arrows, difference between these two limits, limit of hole and limit of shaft. Okay, it cannot be always here. It cannot be always here. See, it can overlap to each other. It can cross to each other. It can overlap to each other. In that case, it will be transition. Okay, it can overlap to each other. It will be interference fit. Okay, so this allowance currently there is a gap. There is a difference. So this allowance is positive here. But when it is overlapping, when it is overlapping, where it is moving ahead of this region, then it is going to be negative. Okay, so clear, keep it in mind. Allowance may be positive or negative. Based on that, feet is decided. Based on that, feet is decided. Okay, so allowance may be positive or negative, but tolerance is always positive because it is an algebraic difference. Okay, this kind of simple questions are there in a competitive exams. Okay, MCQ questions, right? So allowance can be positive or negative. Okay, how it is happening? I think I have the figure. No, I don't have. Okay, so it happens in case of clearance, interference, and transition fit. Okay, when you will have clearance, interference, and transition fit, this is possible. Okay, just a minute. I think I will have one. Just a minute. This is a very important topic, limit fit and tolerance, because you will see always at least 1 to 2 questions every time. There was one good figure. Okay, now I have shared another one tab. Just look at the right side. Okay, look at the right side. I will zoom. Okay, types of fit. If you check it on the internet, you will get that. Okay, just look at the see. Okay, here you are observing these three fits: clearance, interference, and transition. Okay, if you check in case of clearance, the hole size is exactly greater than the shaft size. What I told, lower limit of hole is greater than upper limit of shaft. Okay, so gap is created. Okay, this gap is nothing but the allowance. This gap is nothing but the allowance. Okay, right? So this is going to be a minimum clearance. It is going to be minimum clearance. And in case of interference fit, are you observing it is overlapping to each other? It is overlapping to each other, right? Hole is, sorry, shaft size is larger than the hole size. Okay, it is called as the interference fit. And in that case, maximum interference will be this one. Maximum interference will be this one. So allowance is defined in that fashion. Allowance will be defined in this fashion. Okay, just a minute. Right. Okay, so that, so let it be. Don't get confused with respect to first statement. It is the minimum clearance or maximum interference. It is the minimum clearance or maximum interference. Okay, what is happening? Minimum clearance is when there is a difference between lower limit of hole and upper limit of shaft. Okay, same case once it will overlap to each other in terms of interference speed. Same difference. See, because this is the extreme limit of hole, this is the extreme limit of shaft. When you will take that difference, that time it will be a maximum interference. So either it may be minimum clearance or it will be maximum interference. Okay, so that is going to be your allowance. Time being, just keep it in mind. Intentional difference between basic dimension of parts, mating parts. Intentional difference between basic dimension of mating parts. That is nothing but the allowance. Okay. Right. Now, okay. Now, allowances. There are so many allowances. Okay, draft allowance, shrinkage allowance, shaking allowance, mold allowance. Okay, but basically there are two most important allowances which are given while designing the plastic parts. That is the shrinkage allowance and the draft allowance. Okay, shaking and all that, there is also, because you have studied that in a manufacturing process also, around 5 to 6 types of allowances are there. Okay, wherever variation is possible, allowance will be there. Getting. Now, here we have considered, which is the most important one, two types of allowance. One is a shrinkage allowance, okay, because of shrinking of the material, and another is a draft allowance. Okay, that also we'll see. Now we'll go with this, our first of all shrinkage allowance, right? So there is no need to define the shrinkage. Shrinkage means what? There is a volume reduction. There is a volume reduction uh, when the material is cooled. So when the material is at the high temperature, when it is cooled from high temperature to low temperature, material causes contraction. Okay, because of the bonding, because of the increment in the density, right? Because of the adhesiveness between the atoms, there is going to be a compaction, and compaction is resulting into shrinkage of the material, shrinkage of the material or shrinkage of the component. Okay, that is nothing but the shrinkage allowance, and it is the generally property of all materials. Everything you use any kind of material, there is going to be some kind of shrinkage, less or more. Okay, but it is going to be there, right? So magnitude of shrinkage varies from material to material, but every material shrinks. Okay, this is the statement, right? So now very important one, this one, shrinkage is of three types. Okay, because defining shrinkage is easy. Defining shrinkage is a reduction in dimension during cooling or during solidification process. But shrinkage is of three types: liquid shrinkage, solidification shrinkage, and solid shrinkage. Liquid shrinkage, see, this kind of points which are quite different, or which are in depth of that subject. This kind of point you will have to keep it in mind, right? This simple definition, simple explanation, you can recall it easily. Okay, and will not be asked mostly in good exams. Okay, what is asked maybe at the interview or maybe in the competitive exams, this kind of questions. Okay, the conceptual based. Shrinkage is of three types: liquid shrinkage, solidification shrinkage, and solid shrinkage. Okay, maybe you will be able to understand it easily. I think, do you have a slide? Okay, no, I'll explain it. See, liquid shrinkage means what? First of all, to understand this, you will have to understand the phases of the material. Okay, first of all, you will have to understand the phases of the material. Getting? Okay, now what is happening? Just take an example of water. Just take an example of water, right? Now what is happening? Basically, the natural state of water is liquid. Natural state of water is a liquid. Okay, because of the melting point is less than the atmospheric temperature. Okay, so what is happening? What is happening? The natural state of water is a liquid phase, right? So now suppose the general temperature of water is, let's consider it's and 30 degrees Celsius, some kind of heated water. Okay, 30 degrees Celsius. Now what is going to happen? When you will cool that water from 30 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, when you will cool that water from 30 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, what is going to happen? During this cooling, what is happening actually? Cooling means adhesiveness, attraction between atom increases. Atoms uh, start coming closer to each other. Okay, it start becoming more dense. Okay, so during that liquid phase only, whatever shrinkage will happen, it is going to happen. Okay, see, still we are not in a solid phase, we are still in a liquid phase, because liquid is, see, molten material or liquid is having some temperature. During that liquid phase, suppose the heated water is at the 100 degrees Celsius, from 100 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius, there is going to be some shrinkage. That is called as a liquid shrinkage, when it is entirely in a liquid shrinkage. Okay, now when first when first drop of liquid will convert into solid, when first drop of liquid will convert into solid, that time solidification shrinkage start. That time solidification shrinkage starts. Okay, see how liquid is converted into solid phase. At the start there is requirement of at least one atom of solid. So when first drop of liquid will convert into first atom of solid, second atom will be close to that atom only. Getting it? And that's how it will start going expanding. Okay, so when first liquid drop will convert into first solid atom, that is called as a start of solidification shrinkage. Start of solidification shrinkage. Okay, now start of appearing solid phase to end of liquid phase. What I am saying, when last droplet of liquid will convert into solid. Definition of solidification shrinkage, understand properly. When first drop of liquid will start converting into first atom of solid, that point to the point at which last drop of liquid will convert into solid, that shrinkage is called as solidification shrinkage. That shrinkage is called as a solidification shrinkage. And now you have entire solid. Now you have entire solid. But still when you are cooling it below that temperature, you have entire solid, there is no any single drop of liquid. When you are cooling that below that also, that time it is called as a purely solid shrinkage. That time it is called as a purely solid shrinkage. Okay, now one question. Okay, it is asked in a gate also already. Okay, see, can you please tell me how many phases are there during liquid shrinkage? How many phases are there? Have you studied the metallurgy? If you have studied, then tell me how many phases will be there during liquid shrinkage. Phases. You have studied, I think, degree of freedom rule. Gibbs phase rule. Gibbs phase rule. Okay, Gibbs phase rule. P plus F equal to C plus 2. How many phases will be there during liquid shrinkage? How many phases will be there during solidification shrinkage? And how many phases will be there? Phases will be there during solid shrinkage. Okay, phases during liquid, solidification, and solid, because there is a continuously difference. Okay, so during liquid shrinkage, only one phase, liquid. During solidification shrinkage, there is a combination of liquid plus solid. So there are two phases, liquid plus solid. And during solid shrinkage, there is only one phase, that is a solid phase. Got it? 1, 2, 1. Okay, right? So this is how the shrinkage of any material happens. Okay, I think you got the point clearly. We'll move ahead. So these are the some kind of percentage shrinkage values. Percentage shrinkage values. So just a minute. Hold on, don't leave the session. I lost the connectivity. Just 1 minute, I'll reconnect it. Okay, so right, so basically if you check the numbers, so maximum variation or the maximum shrinkage you will see around 2%, right? And minimum it is around 0.5%. So that's how the shrinkage level varies for different kind of materials, right? Now there are some parameters. There are some parameters which are responsible for the shrinkage. Okay. Now just listen carefully because these parameters are mostly asked. Even the MCQs are asked based on these different parameters. And out of these are some of the basic parameters which are responsible for the shrinkage, or because of which shrinkage allowance is provided for the while designing the plastic parts. Okay, so these are the some of the parameters: holding pressure, melt temperature, mold temperature, holding time, and wall thickness. Okay, now basically if you have, or I think heat and mass transfer is this time you are studying this time heat and mass transfer. Okay, so you may have studied about heat transfer rate, maybe through conduction, through radiation, through convection. Getting okay? Because there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. And mostly the heat transfer happens in case of such systems through conduction. Then after it is a convection, and then after it is a radiation. Okay. Again, it depends upon the level of temperature, because if the temperature of the material is very very high, so it emits the heated radiation. So that time intensity of heat transfer by radiation is more. Intensity of heat transfer by radiation is more. Okay, this thing you will have to keep it in mind. See, temperature is, when temperature is more, it will emit the heat more, and when temperature goes down, that time radiation intensity goes down, and that times conduction is preferred more. Okay, obviously it depends upon the difference between temperatures. Okay, because heat conduct sorry heat transfer basically driven by difference between the two temperatures. Okay, so this heat transfer rate is going to have impact on the shrinkage. Okay, heat transfer rate vary this melt temperature, mold temperature, wall thickness. In these cases, this heat transfer rate is mostly playing an important role for getting this variation in the shrinkage. Okay, now see, the concept of holding pressure already I told you in the last lecture also, right? What is happening? Holding pressure means what actually? See, when you are pouring the molten material inside the mold, when you are pouring molten material inside the mold, what happens? Slowly it start becoming solidified from the bottom to top, getting, and slowly it start shrinking also. So it start shrinking also, right? Now, so you cannot stop pouring the material, you cannot stop pouring the material inside the mold, because you will have to manage that shrinkage rate. We have to manage that shrinkage rate. If suppose you will calculate the volume of the mold, and accordingly if you will pour the molten metal inside the mold, what is going to happen? Ultimately it is going to shrink down, it is going to compress down, and you will find some empty space, right? So to overcome that empty space because of the shrinkage, okay, that holding pressure is applied, and through that holding pressure extra molten material is poured inside the mold. Extra material is poured inside the mold. Okay, that holding or pressure with which that mold is hold to manage the shrinkage, to add the extra material, that is called as a holding pressure, and time for which it is hold, that is called as a holding time. Okay, now these are the variations. One by one we'll have this. Okay, okay, just look at the first figure. Just look at the first figure. Okay, this variation you will have to understand. The first thing, holding pressure. The first thing is that holding pressure. Okay, I told you the concept of holding pressure. To compensate for the shrinkage, we are pouring extra material, extra molten material inside the mold. Okay, So that is called as a holding pressure. That is called as a holding pressure. So what is happening? See, if you check all the diagrams, mostly the shrinkage is more when you are increasing that particular parameter. It may be melt temperature, mold temperature, wall thickness, or holding time. Just in case of holding pressure, just in case of holding pressure, this shrinkage is going down. This shrinkage is going down. So what is happening actually? When you are increasing the holding pressure, first of all, understand the reason why you are increasing the holding pressure. As you will increase the holding pressure, mold, whatever the material you have poured inside the mold, it is compressed. It is compressed, and you are giving that holding pressure so that it will compress properly. There should not be any empty voids. There should not be any voids inside the mold, and then you can pour the extra material from the top, so that you are applying the holding pressure. So when you are applying the holding pressure, material is getting compressed. Whatever that compressed volume is taken care by extra material that you are going to add from the outside. Okay, so that whenever this holding pressure is applied, shrinkage goes down, because pressure is applied to overcome the shrinkage, now not to increase the shrinkage. Okay, apply the pressure, add the extra material, apply the pressure and add the extra material. Now there is one problem. There is one problem. See, if you increase the pressures at the so high level, if you increase the pressure at the so high level, there is a possibility of distortion of product. There is a possibility of generation of stresses inside the product, which will have the effect of distortion. Because simple thing, if you increase the pressure on the component beyond the limitation, it is going to distort. Okay, so there should be an optimum level of pressure. There should be optimal level of pressure, and if the pressure will be less, it cannot compensate the shrinking volume, so shrinking will be more. Okay, you cannot easily find out the shrinking volume. So more is the holding pressure, you can get the less shrinkage. Okay, now immediately come to the holding time. Remaining part we will see one by one, but come to the holding time. Okay, so this is the graph how it is shown for the holding time. Okay, holding time means the time that mold has been hold, so that you can add extra material inside, extra molten material inside the mold, to compensate the shrinkage, to compensate the shrinkage. Okay, now what is happening? When there is a less holding time, when there is a less holding time, you cannot add the more material inside the mold, and whatever shrinkage will happen, it will be permanent. Whatever shrinkage will happen, it will be permanent. Okay, you will not get a scope to add the extra material. So whenever there is a less holding time, shrinkage is going to be more, because you have not got the time to compensate that. You have not got the time to compensate that. Okay, when you will increase the holding time, accordingly you will get a time to apply the pressure, to compress the material, and to add the extra material, so that shrinking is going down, down, down. Okay, shrinking is going down. Now there will be single next question, then why it is showing then against reverse direction? See, there is a time limit for holding. Now what is actually happening? If you have seen that mold box, or you have studied properly the casting, okay, how we are pouring the molten material inside the mold cavity, there is one opening, small opening called as sprue. Okay, like there is one small opening which is carrying the liquid material, liquid heated molten material inside the cavity. So whenever that material goes inside the cavity, it starts solidifying. Similar way, when material is passing from the sprue, when material is passing from the cavity, it also starts solidifying. It is possible. It is also part of a mold. So if you will increase the holding time more, what will happen? The temperature of the material goes down, and it will start solidifying inside that cavity only, inside that sprue only. Okay, so it will start solidifying inside that opening only, where there is a passage to go, a passage for the material. So flow of material, flow of molten material inside the cavity reduces, because you have increased the holding time to more extent, and that's why material has started solidifying. If it will solidify inside the mold, no issue, but it will start solidifying inside the channel also, the road, what we can in simple language we can call that road is blocked. which road through which you are passing the material. Obviously, so you will get a less space for the passage of material, and so that once the less material will reach inside the cavity, again shrinkage will be more. Okay, so that's how this is the uh, direction for this particular graph. Now come to this second one: shrinkage versus wall thickness. Shrinkage versus wall thickness. Okay, now what is happening if the wall thickness of the product is more? If the wall thickness inside that mold cavity is going to be more, it is now directly have a connection with the heat transfer rate. It is now directly having the relation with the heat transfer rate. Okay, now what is going to be happen? Just just a minute. Sure. Okay, right. So so what is happening here? Now what I told at the start, that heat transfer rate. Now simple thing: if wall thickness is more, if you have studied the conduction properly, there is a formula for the heat transfer rate. Okay, so in that formula, uh, there is a temperature difference, conductivity, and the thickness of wall. Okay, thickness of the wall. So if wall thickness is going to be a more, wall thickness is going to be more, heat transfer rate is going to reduce, because it will simply act as a resistance to passage of heat. Okay, so if wall simple thing, if wall thickness is a more, resistance is going to be more, conduction is going to be less, so heat transfer rate is going to be less. So what will happen? Heat will transfer from mold to atmosphere very slowly, very slowly. Now when it will, what is happening? Listen carefully. The material inside the mold gets proper time to solidify. Proper time to solidify. What will happen? Proper time to solidify means each atom will properly close to each other. Each atom will bond to each other, because it is having the ample amount of time, because heat transfer is happening very slowly. Heat transfer is happening very slowly. Okay, that's why this cooling will get ample amount of time. Cooling will happen properly. Okay, and the grains solidification will be a very slowly and very properly. So it will become more dense, and more dense means it will have a more density means it will become more dense, and there will be a more compression. It means more compression means shrinkage is more. And when wall thickness is a less wall thickness, it will provide less resistance. Heat transfer will be very fast. Heat will be taken out from the mold very fastly, and atoms or the droplets of molten material will not get a proper time to solidify. Okay, so it will be arranged randomly, so there will not be a that much of shrinkage. Okay, density you will not get a properly. It will not become that much of dense, so that whenever there is a more wall thickness, you will get a more shrinkage because of the time and the heat transfer rate. And similar way, if it is a less wall thickness, you will get a less shrinkage, right? Here also same way. Okay, this melt temperature is showing quite see, there is no so much of impact of this molten metal temperature impact on the shrinkage factor, because ultimately it depends upon the heat transfer rate, right? See, if you see it, there is no such variation. Getting okay? So what is happening actually? See, this melting temperature is a more, so that what is happening, if temperature is a more, whenever new material means whenever you are adding the material inside the mold with high temperature, so whatever the voids are created, whatever the voids were created previously, okay, that got disturbed because of the high temperature of the upcoming material, and again it is rearranged, again it is rearranged, and again it will properly solidify, again it will be properly solidify, and again it will compress, and volume will goes down. Why? Because melting temperature will be with the high temperature. Okay, that's why the shrinkage is more when you are increasing the temperature. Similar way with the mold temperature, quite less variation. Mold temperature means what? See, these are two linked together. If molten metal temperature is a more, same heat is going to transfer to mold, because see, through mold only it is going to transfer to atmosphere. Okay, so when there is a high temperature at the mold surface, or inside the mold, right? Yes. Okay, sorry. So see, what is going to happen? Mold temperature or the mold surface temperature is more. The upcoming material which is coming inside the mold cavity, it is also heated material. So ultimately, what happens? The temperature difference between the mold surface and the temperature, sorry, temperature of the mold and temperature of the molten material, right? If both are very high, obviously molten metal temperature is going to be high, but accordingly mold temperature is also going to be very very high. There is going to be less temperature difference between the mold temperature and molten material temperature. If both are at the higher stage, temperature difference is going to be less. And you know that temperature difference is the driving force for the heat transfer rate. If more difference, more heat transfer rate. If less difference, less heat transfer rate. And same case happens as like this wall thickness. Okay, because of the being a high temperature, mold temperature is also high at the stage, and the molten metal temperature is also high. Okay, so there is going to be less temperature difference. Less temperature difference will cause less heat transfer rate. Less heat transfer rate. Okay, less heat transfer rate means again the material will get ample time to solidify, and so that proper time for solidify, then it will have the more shrinkage. It will have the more shrinkage. Okay, so it will have more shrinkage. Okay, if mold temperature is a less, if mold temperature is a less, what is happening in case of mold temperature? If mold temperature is a less and molten metal temperature is a more, so difference between the temperature is a huge. That is the driving force of heat transfer rate. And so that what happens, the heat will transfer very fastly, and the material will not get a proper time to solidify, and shrinkage will not be proper. Okay, and less shrinkage will be there, because see, less shrinkage, the meaning of ultimate meaning of less shrinkage means what? There are going to be less density, there is going to be a voids, there is going to be a cavities inside the molten material. Okay, that's why there is a less shrinkage. Okay, whenever there is a proper shrinkage, that time 100% it is going to be a, sorry, whenever there is a proper cooling, there is going to be a more shrinkage, because atom is going to be a more dense, right? So that's how these parameters are having the impact on the shrinkage. Okay, just keep it in mind, the behavior, all the behavior is with respect to heat transfer rate only. Okay, how much time that particular mold is getting for the solidification, right? It is, I think, 4:53, but it's a small point, we'll cover it. Okay, the last one, the draft. Okay, the draft, very simple one. See, why draft is required? Just we'll go directly to the figure and then we'll come to the explanation. Suppose that instead of this tapered way, if this particular, what we can call cavity, or this mold will be of this rectangular type shape, open type rectangular, okay, or open type square, That means this is straight. This is straight instead of being inclined. Okay, and your product is also of the same shape, uh, rectangular or square type shape. Okay, once it will solidify, see, when product is solidify, actually solidification starts from surface, you know that. If you want to check, you can do one thing. Just take a glass of water and put that glass of water inside the freezer, and after some time, don't wait for the entire liquid to freeze. After some time, just get that glass of water and check it when it is a 50% solidified or 20, 30 to 50% solidified, and check out where ice has formed. You will see that ice has formed around the surface of the glass, not outside, inside the surface. Okay, because heat transfer is actually occurring from the surface of the glass. That's why ice start uh, ice will start creating around the surface and on the water surface also, because it is transferring heat from surface also. Okay, so on the surface you will get the ice. Okay, so actually this cooling is also happening at the surface, and because of this cooling, see, shrinkage is obviously going to be there, but apart from that, expansion happens. Expansion of the material happens towards this surface, at this surface, and this surface. Okay, and this expansion will happens, and this will create a pressure on the surface, at least on the side surface. Now, what is going to happen? See, same experiment you can do at your home also. What I told, get a glass of water, full glass of water, and keep it inside the freezer, and let it be have a full ice, and you remove it. Is it easy to remove that ice from the glass? You check it. It is not possible, because it has expanded, and it has created pressure on the glass surfaces. So it is not easy to remove that. You will have to wait for some kind of liquid stage. You will have to wait that some part of ice will convert into liquid, and then you can remove it. Okay, to overcome that, because ultimately we'll have to remove the product from this mold. To overcome that, this taper is given, this draft angle is given. So this surface of the mold is tilted. Okay, there is some draft angle, and see, ultimately your product is a square or rectangular type, not this kind of inclined type. See, though it will move towards this inclined surface, by finishing you can remove that extra part. That is not the case. But at least you should be able to remove from the mold. At least you should be able to remove the product from the mold. That is the important thing. Okay. Okay. So that this draft allowance is given. Are you understanding? So that this draft allowance is given. Okay. A simple and clear cut fundamental, or simple and clear cut issue. Easy to remove the product, easy to remove the product from the mold. Okay, that's why this draft allowance is given. Okay, draft is required on all parts in the direction of mold movement, in order to allow parts to release or eject from the mold properly. That is the only simple issue, nothing. Draft is the angle in which part is tapered and allow it to release. Okay, again same issue. As the part cool, it tends to want to shrink to the core side of the mold. Are you getting? It will tend to shrink to the core side of the mold, which will create the pressure on the surface. Adding draft helps part to release. Most parts or applications require minimum half to 1 degree. Okay, so this is the limit. Just keep it in mind, the limit and the intention. Intention is the ejection of parts from the mold, and amount is zero point 0.5 to 2 degree, or zero point 0.5 to 1 degree some case. Upper limit to lower limit, if you think, zero point 0.5 to 2 degree. Okay, that will be a draft allowance will be given. Okay, draft allowance means to allow part to remove from the mold. Okay, so this is how the draft design is made. This is how the allowances are provided by considering all these factors, and this is how the tolerance is considered. Okay, this is the shrinkage. Keep it in mind: liquid, solidification, and solid. Okay, these three steps, and uh, the number of phases in that particular stage. Two types of allowances: shrinkage and allowance. Shrinkage allowance, draft allowance. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. In the next lecture, we'll start with the, what is there next, rib design. Okay, so just firstly give the attendance. I have shared the tab. Okay, let it be. I'll call the numbers, and you can leave the session once I'll call the number. Roll number one. Just wait. Check it is one more. So roll number one is there. Two is there. present, 4 present, 5 is also present, 6 and 8. 6 and roll number 8. 7 absent. Roll number 11 directly. Roll number 14. Then roll number 15, 16, 17. 15 present, 16 present, and 17 present. Roll number 19 and 22. Roll number 19, Sumit, present, and 22. Onkar, don't bunk the lectures. Joker. Roll number 25 is present. Roll number 32 directly. Roll number 33. 34, 35. 34, 35. 38, 42. 38 present. 42 present. 43, 44 present. 43, 44. 46, 47 present. 46, 47 present. 50 present. 51 present. 53 present. 56, 62. 56, 62. Omkar is also present. Roll number 60. Okay. 62. 63, 64, 65. 63, 64, 65. 68, 70. 68 and
Sir, 57.
Omkar Patil, don't miss the lecture. 71, 73.
Sir, 57.
And Thomas 73. Okay, I think over. Hello, thank you so much for
Sir,
joining.
57.
Have a nice day.
Sir, 78.
Raj
Sir,
Wagmare, what is your roll number?
78, sir.
sir,
Raj,
57.
Sir, 78.
78. After a long time, you have
Sir,
attended the lecture. Don't miss the lecture.
32, sir.
sir, hello, sir, 57.
Hello, sir. 14.
Uh,
Sir, 57.
Hello,
I have marked your attendance. 57.
sir. 14. 14.
Bharat, roll number
Sir, sir, excuse me, sir. Roll number 57, sir.
number 14. Your attendance was marked. Chalo, okay, thank you.
Sir, 57, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.